A woman appears to be drunk and leaning on a subway site. The scent of alcohol clings to her, leaving onlookers to assume she's on the verge of blackout. Just as she seems vulnerable, a man in a baseball cap approaches, pretending to help her. His act of kindness is merely a facade, hiding his malicious intent. But his true intentions are revealed as he swiftly steals the woman's gold chain. A police officer quietly observes, waiting for the right moment to intervene. In a shocking twist, the seemingly unconscious woman fights back against the thief. In a quick reaction, she secures the thief, turning the tables unexpectedly. But in a misunderstanding, she mistakes the police officer for an accomplice. Amidst the chaos, the thief seizes his chance, an escape that could change everything. His new rank, he definitely agreed to his superior's suggestion. The sound of her heels echoes as the policewoman races after him. But will she catch up? Order of the Italian mafia. With his status as a university professor, her mind races, mapping out the thief's escape route. Could she outsmart him? Knowledge and her human beauty. The policewoman calculates his movements, a rolling staircase, then the crowded area ahead. She achieved his goal of approaching the insect. At this time, Xiao would no longer hit his. She knows every step he might take. It's a game of cat and mouse. Mr. Trung's secret was that he used to be a special. As he reaches the exit, panic overwhelms the thief. He feels cornered. To defeat him, but to take advantage of him. Desperation sets in as he realizes the policewoman is blocking his only escape route. Prison him in the most secure prison in the world, where the most terrorists and gangbangers. In a moment of sheer terror, he freezes, his heart racing and thoughts racing faster. And here is difficult. Getting out is even harder. With no way out, he faints, the fear overwhelming him completely. Agent who is being held captive. Caught in his own trap, the thief's bravado crumbles. What a twist of fate. Ask, but for Xiao Wu, it is as easy as it sounds. Fate plays its hand, and the thief never expected to cross paths with the police officer again so soon. Personal bodyguard of a famous A-list star, reducing the glory. As the officer arrives at the station, tension fills the air. She brings the thief for questioning. To the actor were fans and close manager Zohar. In a panic, the thief scrambles to hide under the table, desperately trying to escape his humiliating fate. It's information. Zhu was suddenly caught by. While the thief hides, the officer maintains her composure, explaining the case to her colleagues. So she deleted all the photos he stole. When he returned she points at the thief, now a living testament to her skills and determination. Honorable woman, a rose full of thorns. With a bold declaration, she reveals the thief's notorious nickname, Grasshopper. The information related to this task is just key zero. The reaction is immediate. Disbelief grips the room as they realize who they are dealing with, Da Quan Hoang. So everyone prepared early while going out on the windy bay. Known for his brazen thefts, Grasshopper had once embarrassed the police in front of the media, and saw that she had witnessed all of his tricks. She secretly followed. His audacity made headlines, drawing public outrage over security failures, him from being arrested during the match. This unpleasant incident shocked the film crew. Now, facing the officer who caught him, will Grasshopper find a way to escape again? What? And at this moment the company director, chaos erupts as a wallet mysteriously disappears, derailing the demonstration and raising alarm bells. He eagerly followed it. The next day, Zohar called the new bodyguard to the office for an interview. Even though Xiao Wu was mentally prepared, he didn't expect her to ask trick questions. Every answer he gave satisfied his manager. She commented that he had all the opposite elements to Quan Quan. So everyone started planning to welcome the bodyguard's first day of work. His first case was to wake up teaching clients. Because the difficult guest tried to stay awake and curl up in her legs to make things difficult for him, Seoyu was surprised when she saw a lazy worm in front of her. He coldly grabbed the alarm clock and went to the bathroom with his investigation report. Seoyu learns that the actor finds pleasure in torturing others, a perverted psychopath who is strong with the weak and weak with the strong. To overcome his boss's habit of complaining, Seoyu built a time bomb to hang in front of the bed. He warned his client that if he did not press the button, the bomb would explode. As soon as Quan Kwong saw this, he was scared to death but still tried to calm it himself. He thought this was just a fake that the bodyguard created to trick him. According to the search instructions explaining the structure and uses of the bomb, at the same time, step back and count down to warn the owner. As long as he presses the stop button, it will not explode. See his serious expression. Quan Kwong began to worry about his annoy. He panicked and jumped up to turn off the bomb, just as he thought. But so the first task of waking up the VIP has been completed. Seowon walked away satisfied, leaving a big anger in the actor's heart. His next schedule was filming, but because the highway was blocked, He got angry at others, a type of mischief often seen in children. He kept dancing next to the bodyguard when he made himself late. Xiaowu still maintained a cold and serious attitude to please the guests. He opened the door and got out of the car, dragging his VIP along to jog on time. Everyone was surprised by this incident. Du-ha quickly chased the two male couples to the train station. She was a step late when the train started to move and had to watch helplessly as her brother followed the stranger. The timing was perfect as the two of them were able to arrive at the studio 8 minutes early. Quan Kwong did not care much about this. What he cares about is that someone will recognize him on the train, but seeing no one ignore him made him feel uncomfortable. Xiao Wu also consciously noticed this, so he stepped aside so everyone could see more. As soon as they saw the A-list star on the train, the crowd began to gather dozens of photos and ask for autographs. Thanks to this event, Guan Guang's name rose to the top of searches. From then on, his attitude towards his bodyguard also changed, surprising the Dou. From the way he spoke or his gestures, everything became more intimate than ever. While Xiao Wu is getting used to his new identity, his superiors are trying their best to find information about the missing agent. He cooperated Eun to buy information. She is Guan Guang's first love, and is also the one who made Sel Guan a bodyguard. Now she has become the wife of Congressman Sung Jae, a devil who disguises himself as a human when he stops at nothing to achieve his goal. He cooperated with Congressman Bark Rak to find the whereabouts of 3 supporting statues. Things gradually become more dangerous than ever when a second person gets involved. With their still strong financial potential, they have in their hands many good secret agents who are strong enough to threaten Xiao Wu. Even the missing demon-level secret agent was cornered by them. The manager was very upset all day today when the bodyguard arbitrarily led the A-list star on the highway. It wasn't until night that she had a chance to meet the bodyguard to talk. Du-ha wants you to explain what happened today. If the actor is in danger on the train, will you be responsible? But Xiao Wu is very confident and says everything is under control. Anyone who approaches him gets his attention. From the train schedule to the guests present at that time, it is always under control. There was nothing for her to worry about. Zoahar was very impressed with what he did but still had to save face. She clearly stated that she knew exactly where her brother was and what he was doing. At this moment, the alarm that Xiao Wu installed started to sound. It turned out that Quan Kwong wanted to eat fried chicken, so he ran out of the house. After many hardships, he finally reached the chicken shop. Before he could take the first bite of the thigh, a chopstick shot forward and stuck firmly into the chicken. Quan Hoang turned around in fear and saw his manager's sister there. He quickly ran away with a piece of chicken in hand before the manager's fierce pursuit. Luckily, Xiao Wu appeared in time and pulled him to the corner. But because he's on a diet, he can't let him eat this piece of chicken. At this moment, Dou also discovered that the two aunts were stunned to see the couple standing there looking at each other. Discovering that their sister's leg was injured, Quan Hoang gratefully held her to check to see if it hurt too much. It was this gentle and delicate attitude that made her become his fan. The next day, the director came to the house to announce the guests for the party. Seo Wu couldn't hide his excitement when he could also participate. Today is also the starting day of filming for a new movie. Quan Hoang was about to enter the studio when he quickly turned around. It turned out that he saw his ex-lover waiting at the gate and noticed that his customer was worried. Zio Yu suggested that he let me take care of his old love for him. With my excellent speaking skills and acting ability, just through a simple conversation, he forced his ex-lover to leave. Wan Wang was also very surprised to see that stubborn girl leave. He was satisfied with what the bodyguard had shown. The two people's feelings are becoming closer and closer. In today's script, there is a scene where Wan Wang has to drive the car himself. The director wanted to use a stuntman, but he did not agree. He wanted to complete the scene himself, not knowing that someone was trying to harm him. Xiao Wu also discovered an unusual person hanging around the actor's car before he could stop it. When Wang drove it away to shoot the scene, things started to get serious when the car lost its brakes and crashed out of the studio. Xiao Wu calmly drove a nearby car to chase. With the skills of a first-class special agent, he easily approached the out-of-control car, thereby performing a drift to block the car's front before it crashed into the abyss. Immediately afterwards, Wan Kuang was taken to the hospital with a loss of consciousness. Everyone is worried about the actor's safety. So you accidentally heard that this was not the first time that the actor had an accident before during an action scene, and his car also lost control. He suspected that it was the car inspector he saw cutting the brake cable. Looking at his steps, he could tell that he had been trained in the military. His ability to disappear without a trace further proves that his class must be that of a demon. Quan Kwong is an important card for him to be able to carry out this secret mission, so his safety must come first. In his coma, Quan Kwong recalled painful memories. The previous marriage took everything from him, especially his lover who abandoned him to become someone else's wife. During the darkest time of his life, he met Zohar. At this time, she also suffered a huge loss when her loved one passed away, and two people who were fooled by fate once again found each other. It was this fate that made her become his manager. After a period of hospitalization, he finally fully recovered and was discharged. He is very grateful to bodyguard Kim who saved his life. After experiencing this near-death experience, his confidence has decreased significantly. Therefore, he offered bodyguard Kim to protect him 24x24 hours with many attractive conditions. Even though she didn't want to get involved with this guy too much, Seo-yu was forced to accept the news that actor Guan Guang had an accident that had spread online. The name Sung Du-wei behind everything is very satisfied with this result. He also meticulously probed his wife's face to see if she still had feelings for her old lover. But Mi-eun always fights distractions when her husband mentions this issue. On the one hand, always avoid questions about old love, but on the other hand, when your husband is upset, she asks someone to investigate the cause of Quan Kwong's car crash. The results were similar to the car crash 7 years ago. All traces were erased from a scene. The only suspect was left alone. Her superiors suspected that Congressman Sung Jae-yi was the one behind the scandal, but she didn't think so when it was her husband who invested in this film project. However, Than's father kindly reminded her to be careful because he was a real demon. He just hadn't let his claws slip in front of her. He also reminded her not to forget the deal the two of them made with each other. Xiao Wu is now also urgently preparing a plan to break into Chairman Victor's house, but a new incident appeared when the actor temporarily stopped all activities after having an accident, including Chairman Victor's secret birthday party. All plans will be ruined if Wen Wang doesn't return to work, so you have to do a lot to make Wen Wang feel interested in returning to work. Even when he had to impersonate a female role, his soulful eyes and surprising smiles surprised everyone who witnessed it. Even he couldn't believe his eyes. At this time, a phone call from prison came to Zohar. Her father now really wants to meet his daughter, but she knows he only wants to meet her for money. She was really upset when she had to give money to this bad man all the time, so Zohar arranged to meet her best friend for a drink to forget her sadness. Even though it said it was Gree3, the prisoner code to send money to her grandfather was already memorized. Even the times she sent money were clearly recorded in the book, and she returned home in a drunken state. Zohar gradually approached the room where bodyguard Kim was staying, but he quickly discovered and locked the door. He thought he could chase the animal away, but he was wrong. Zohar showed a sinister smile and pulled out the room lock in front of Xiao Wu's helplessness. He could only lie still to listen to her confides. After her father went to prison, creditors came to his funeral to beat her, forcing her to pay her father's debt. Du-ha once thought about ending everything but met Quan Hoang. It was he who showed her that there was someone much more unfortunate than him, someone who had been dumped to marry the president of a famous corporation. After saying that, she collapsed on the bed and fell asleep. After hearing the story, Seo-wu also thought of a way to force the actor to go back to work. He will take advantage of his ex-girlfriend to provoke him. So Seo-wu proactively invited him to drink beer and talk. He cleverly aroused Quan Hoang's hidden emotions. From there, the secret was revealed that he was a bodyguard sent by his ex-girlfriend. The real boss of the company was Mrs. Mile. He was shocked to hear this secret but quickly asked him to become his person. But CEO Yu refused the position of serving someone with a higher position. This fueled the fire of hatred in Quan Kwong's heart, and the next morning he returned to work. The first schedule is billionaire Victor's birthday party. Security here is so strict that not even a mouse can get in. Only those with invitation cards will be admitted. After successfully entering the building, Xiao Wu quickly wore a special tracking device to scan the house's diagram. The main character of the party, Chairman Victor, also appeared. He excitedly invited him to come see his secret collection after the party. When Wang was led by the chairman's men to the secret room, everything is going according to the plan that Xiao Wu made. However, at the last minute when Wang wanted him to enter the room with him, which meant he would not have time to steal the wooden statue. If you have stabbed the mop, you must follow the mop. Now Xiao Wu can only go into the room and make a new battle plan. The action time is only 3 minutes countdown before everything ends. Before attending the party, he went to the Russian intelligence service to ask for help. Xiao Wu will find evidence to incriminate the billionaire in exchange for the Russian side shooting an electrical interference beam into the house. Now only Plan B can be used to carry out the mission. In the secret room are all cultural heritage around the world. But what caught Xiao Yu's attention was a small wooden statue placed in a corner of the room. At this moment, the Russian side also fired a jamming beam into the castle. All electronic devices stopped working, and security was immediately tightened. Even though he was very angry, the chairman still held his birthday party as planned. While everyone was paying attention to the performance, Xiao Yu quietly left without a sound. He broke into the third floor where the secret room was located. Even though it was heavily protected, he was still able to sneak in easily. Xiao Wu coldly dealt with all the guards standing in front of the room. He quickly broke the glass pedestal to get the statues, then had someone take the marked statue out of here. At this time, XO Ha also noticed the bodyguard's dizziness. She was worried and immediately went to look for him. As soon as she reached the stairs, she saw her bodyguard jumping down from the upper floor. With 2 guards chasing after her, Su quickly hugged the girl pretending to be his lover to bypass them. After the suspicion passed, Su coldly told her to forget what had just happened. He quickly returned to the party despite Zoha's shock and not understanding what had happened. Immediately the Russian army stormed the party to arrest Chairman Victor, and the party became more chaotic than ever. After returning to the hotel to prepare to fly home, Zoha was still suspicious of the bodyguard's identity, so she asked to meet him privately. She couldn't understand what happened today. No matter how much she begged him to tell the truth, the answer was still no. To distract her manager, Xiao Wu started pouring out sweet flirtations to win her favor. In the moment Ha felt weak, he immediately stood up and left. The secret mission ended successfully. The wooden statue was shipped back to Korea. After searching inside the statue, Xiao Wu discovered a hidden secret key. But that is just an unfinished part. There need to be 2 more pieces in the remaining 2 wooden statues. This is the crux of this mission. The mission's end is also when Seo Yu gives up her bodyguard position. He intended to blow up the car like he did on overseas missions, but his superiors stop him. In Korea, you can only die if you resign or get fired. Seo Yu felt very excited about the eternal prospect of being made a fool of herself and then being chased away. So the next day at work he showed off his star nature. From fighting for the main actor's seat to his unpleasant attitude towards everyone. But it all backfired when Quan Wang thought his bodyguard was tired. Only Zoha misunderstood that it was because he was jealous when I hugged someone else. I went to the group to organize a hot pot to celebrate the successful completion of the job. Xiao Wu broke his rules for the first time by drinking alcohol during work hours, which caused Zoha's misunderstanding to increase. That's why she drank 1 cup after another without stopping. Everyone felt scared when she continued to drink uncontrollably like this. In the end, Xiao Wu had to take action because he was afraid that she would go to the wrong room again like last time. But when I see someone taking away the cup and not letting me drink, Zoha fell deeper into his own illusion when he thought it was love. Seeing bodyguard Kim go out alone, she immediately followed him. She kept saying that she couldn't agree to his love. So can we continue to be colleagues? But Xiao Wu shook his head and refused because everything he did was to get fired. There was no way he was willing to start over. The next morning Xiao Wu went to meet his guest to ask for a leave of absence, but the prince did not allow it. He still wanted to keep him by his side because he was his best brother. Xiao Wu coldly put down the letter and left in his helplessness. At the same time Zoha visited his father in prison. She was very upset when she met him again because he always asked for money. He suddenly asked her about the gift he gave her before. It was a very important thing that he wanted her to keep until the day he was released from prison. Information about the second statue has appeared. It is currently in the hands of an antique dealer with golden fingers. After returning home, Zoha heard that the bodyguard had applied for leave. She immediately went to find him to ask the reason. So you turned his cards upside down when he said he didn't like her at all, guessed wrongly and said what he thought. This made him extremely tired and screaming. These cruel words touched Zoha's self-esteem. She couldn't believe she was hated so much. She could only hold back her tears until he left. Before he could leave a few steps, his superior called him to tell him to take back his leave application. Although he is very frustrated when his superiors always oppose his plans, he is a special agent. He agreed to deceive Zoha's heart to achieve his ultimate goal. Zoha changed his attitude and gave her a passionate kiss that made her cry. Too surprised by Kim's bodyguard's violent actions, she immediately gave him a slap in the face. No matter how sweet the explanation was, Zoha still couldn't forgive right away. Zoha could only turn around and leave, leaving her standing alone in front of the shop. The target of this mission is Zoha. He must do everything possible to find the ring that Zoha's father gave to his daughter. That is an important clue to unlock the secret of the second statue. Although flirting with girls is also part of an agent's skills, this time Xiao Wu has a bad feeling. Early in the morning Xiao Wu returned to the VIP's house. After hearing the sharp voice of bodyguard Kim, the Mandarin immediately jumped up in surprise. His best brother had returned to work. Only the doe felt awkward every time bodyguard Kim encountered him on set. His flirtatious words and intimate gestures made her want to marry him. Quan Kwong also smelled the shady smell behind their relationship. He was curious when he saw his sister smiling brightly when she received a message from her bodyguard. He looked at her with judgmental eyes in curiosity. The relationship between the two people became the biggest question in Quan Kwong's heart. At the same time, Xiao Wu is breaking into the manager's house to find the ring. Even if he searched the house, he couldn't find any clues. While helpless before his task, suddenly the phone rang, making him panic. I didn't expect the VIP guest to call me at this hour. It turned out that he wanted to go to dinner with his bodyguard at a luxury restaurant to explore their feelings. While talking, a little girl came up and asked to take a photo with her idol. What is more surprising is that the boy is the first son of his ex-lover. Meeting the person who abandoned him during difficult times made his mood go down. Finally, he decided to go home to relax his mind. Guan Wang suddenly probed his good brother's love story. He felt sorry for bodyguard Kim when he got involved in her abusive relationship. Bodyguard Kim has feelings for the manager, and the manager is interested in Guan Wang. But whatever the reason, Zoha is his sister. Therefore, if the bodyguard dares to do anything wrong to her, he will cut you to the bone. The next day, Zoha was extremely angry when his brother found out. Why do you tell the truth to others? Xiao Wu's case seems to have been revealed when the bosses were followed. They were all high-ranking agents sent to track the captain. The National Intelligence Agency had smelled the wooden statue steps, so everyone decided to discuss the plan with the tree. Everything was going faster than he expected. So Xiao Wu proposed using a wooden statue as bait to preemptively attack them. Team leader Zhang will deliberately reveal the location of the wooden statue transaction in order to lure them to follow. When he saw that the wolf was in his sights, Kopi directly cut the car's windshield to destroy his opponent. But he couldn't believe that this was the thickest bulletproof glass. He went from a cold-blooded hunter to a weak scent. Before he could escape, Selu gave him a fatal shot in the shoulder. Suffering a fatal blow, he was barely alive and tried to escape. With the status of a ghost agent, he prepared an escape plan, taking out a smoke balloon to block the tree's vision. Thanks to that, he was able to open a wide angle to escape from the siege. Xiao Wu realized that the perpetrator was likely to escape and immediately switched gun mode to pursue. But he was one step faster when he successfully ran away. This name is also the name that caused the A-list actor's accident. With his level, it is not easy to summarize. After the preemptive attack plan failed, Xiao Wu immediately drove to the manager's house to fight. In this emotional war, you can only win, not lose. Zoha was defeated by the tree's butterfly words. He touched her icy heart and decided to listen to her heart. She walked forward and gave the tree a warm kiss. The tree's plan was an excellent success. He has now become Zoha's lover. Suddenly, she received a phone call informing her that her father had been released. Zoha quickly returned home to confirm the truth. As soon as he saw his daughter returning home with her boyfriend, the father was excited to meet his future son-in-law for the first time. To please his father-in-law, he decided to drink until the end with his uncle. As for Xiao Wu, he is a typical Korean scammer, and imprisonment is normal for him. Only Zoha felt uncomfortable when her father kept mentioning his job with pride. Returning to base drunk, Xiao Wu also gathered important intelligence. The secret ring is still in Zoha's hand and is hidden somewhere else. Not only the agents, but even Chairman Sung Jae is plotting to usurp the ring. He must at all costs hold the key that can open this big secret. The next day, Captain Yang received a lucrative offer from the enemy himself. After being dismissed by the chairman, Congressman Beck contacted the captain. He would provide important information about Sung Jae to the intelligence department. In return, he would receive a worthy reward. Today is the second day of love for the lovebirds, because in order to impress bodyguard Kim, she deliberately applied makeup. But because they were both hiding it from everyone, Selu could only criticize her dressing style. Even though this was Joha's attention, she still felt sad. The father took advantage of his daughter's time at work to look for the ring. Unfortunately, even if he searched the whole house, he could not find it. The father thought his daughter had given the ring to her lover, so he made an appointment with him to talk. But when he found out that he didn't keep the ring, the feeling of disappointment stuck with him. Suddenly, her daughter called to say that her house had just been stolen, causing the two of them to panic and return home. The room had now been torn apart. Everything had signs of damage. Xiao Wu remembered that there was a black car driving in front of the house. He suspected that it was very likely that it was the chairman's group that had to come, so he quickly ran out to check, but they drove away. Feeling that this mission was too risky, he decided to move into the same house as Zoha. It's both convenient to protect this place and convenient for finding the ring. On this side, Captain Wang is preparing to implement a new plan. He will be the one to go directly to the scene to approach Zoha's father. One of their spades was to disguise themselves as a monk looking for antiques to buy the ring. He was a money-hungry man, so when he was offered to buy it back for a large sum of money, he could only wish that his daughter would return the ring to him. At this time, Zohar was making an appointment with her bodyguard. The two people's feelings grew like an axe in the wind. While eating together, Saleyu accidentally discovered that the ring was not hidden, but Zohar kept it in a place her father knew about. But unfortunately he was not sincere, so he couldn't find it. Suddenly, Sol discovered that he had a few people following him, so he took advantage of the hidden corner of the wall to cut them off. But this bold action made Zohar's heart move strongly. Even when he returned home, he was very careful to watch out for them to break in. Witnessing his daughter being so affectionate with her boyfriend made her father a little emotional. Finally, his daughter had found the right person who could take care of her for the rest of her life. As a father, he will definitely buy a house in the center as Zohar's dowry. So the next morning he went to the corporation to meet Chairman Sung Jae. He wants to offer to sell the ring for 2 billion. The chairman was very interested in this transaction, so he ordered someone to hand over the cash. But he still didn't have it with him, so he tried to delay it. As a deposit for this transaction, the chairman gave him a high-end brand watch. Along with that was a warning that if he gave the ring to someone else, he would take the watch along with his arm. At home, he tried to convince his daughter to give him the ring but couldn't. Zohar was really angry that he always abandoned her to pursue benefits. Even at the funeral when she was beaten, the father could only stay silent and leave, which was the final straw that ended the father-daughter relationship. This time, too, he couldn't change his nature and caused even more trouble, making her heartbroken. Xiao Wu came to his side to comfort his lover. He wanted her to think carefully before acting. If necessary, she should leave her father and never see her again. If she is filial, she should be filial to her father carefully. While emotional, Xiaoha said that the ring she kept next to her grandfather. If her father was sincere about changing, he should go see his grandfather to get that ring. Once Xiao Wu knew the location of the ring, he immediately went to his grandfather's grave. The other time he saw the ring was also the time he gave up his identity as Xiaoha's boyfriend. The next Christmas, his father invited Selu to come over to talk. He excitedly told the story of selling the ring to the chairman of a famous corporation, along with the watch that he gave him. Selu immediately realized that the watch had a listening device installed, so he immediately contacted Zohar to ensure her safety. But it was all too late when Zohar was kidnapped by them. Selu could only single-handedly rescue her from the bad guys. After getting the location where she was being held, Xiao Wu immediately took action. He carefully checked every corner. Step by step, he approached the tenor box where the signal was coming from. When he was about to open the box, he suddenly had a bad feeling. With the experience of a first-class agent, he began to rethink his every step, without a single security guard to stop him or a surveillance camera. So the only possibility left is that behind this door is a bomb. Xiao Wu focused on looking at the pile of wooden crates and discovered that there was a device coming backwards. Even though he is experienced in combat, every time he defuses a bomb, it is a brush with death. He calmly cut off each wire before it reached zero. The real pressure was on the last 2 wires. Just one wrong cut and the bomb will explode immediately. Xiao Yu was a bit hesitant at the green wire, but in the end he trusted his instincts. The procession decisively cut the rope to neutralize the bomb. Once sure there was no more danger, Xiao Yu immediately opened the container door. Inside there was only a computer streaming live footage of Doha being detained. He angrily listened to the call of the leader who was arresting his lover. He proudly told him to prepare the wooden statue and ring before tonight. Otherwise the girl would be abused. The angry tree opened fire and destroyed the computer. At this moment, the special task force appeared but could not solve anything. Before leaving, he quickly retrieved the bomb's detonation fragment. Thanks to his special relationships, Xiao Wu has identified the guy who sold him the bomb-making materials. He quickly drove to the scrapyard where the explosives dealer was located. After learning that Gay was a member of the state, he immediately changed his attitude and ordered his subordinates to deal with this cop. Xiao Wu doesn't have time to play with them now. He immediately pulled out his gun and shot to warn the approaching juniors. At the same time, he locked the leader with one hand, forcing him to reveal their identities. At the same time, Zohar was being questioned about the ring information. He introduced himself as a member of the National Intelligence Agency, knowing that arresting her was to find the ring that her father kept, which directly affected the lives of many people. Zohar half believed and doubted what he said. He continued to probe who knew the location of the ring. Zohar now thought that only bodyguard Kim knew the secret, not to mention his shady actions at the chairman's birthday party. What he said was reasonable, causing Zohar to begin to doubt Zohar's true identity. The identity of the traitor agent has been found by his superiors. He was recorded to have lost his temper during a foreign mission. He was immediately wanted nationwide by order of the intelligence department. Because Zohar wanted to determine the location of the traitor, he went to Congressman Bitch. He easily defeated the bodyguards before putting a gun to his head and threatening him. After identifying the enemy's lair, Xiao Wu quickly returned to the base to prepare trading items. Although Du Ha was placed under strict detention, she was still able to steal a phone from her junior and immediately called her brother Wen Wang for help. He was surprised to hear that his sister was being kidnapped, so he immediately went to Kim's bodyguard's house to ask about the situation. At this moment, Xiao Wu started to leave, thinking he was a suspicious object, so he restrained Wen Wang. After confirming that he was his own person, he explained his true identity to Wen Wang's anger. Just because he wanted to complete the mission, he was willing to trick everyone. Even though it was very annoying, saving people was the most important thing. Guan Guang asked him to let him follow and help. Time was now ticking back every minute. The two quickly set off to the transaction location. Guan Guang will pretend to be a trader, and the tree will break into the warehouse where they are holding hostages after receiving a combat signal. Quan Wang outside began to attack them. With his background as an A-class martial arts actor, he was able to hold back the small gang while Xiao Wu fought against the trader. Both of them rushed at each other without any hesitation. They were both special level, so their fighting power was equal. Although he was cornered and in a difficult position, Xiao Wu was still able to calmly resolve the situation. While ensuring the safety of the hostages and not being able to control the bodyguards, the trader was seriously injured by the tree and had no ability to resist. He quickly took off his glare for Zohar to confirm the situation, feeling relieved when he appeared here. Suddenly, Quan Kwong's voice rang out, breaking the romantic scene. Xiao Wu realized that there was still a fierce fight going on outside. He immediately rushed out to support his senior. The two were able to control all the enemies before the task force could attack. The hostage rescue mission was successful. Xiao Wu only dared to stand from afar and look at his girlfriend without being able to get close. The ring was found and it was time for him to disappear. After carefully asking his superiors to take care of Zohar, he disappeared into the darkness without a trace. One of them still escaped. He immediately called Chairman Sung Jae to inform him. He was extremely angry when he lost the ring. To punish those who did not complete the task, he sent the person to kill them to avoid any consequences. Useless sanddogs should be eliminated, so that they can save themselves. During interrogation, Han sent secret information from his agents to call Xiao Wu to come, and at the same time opened up the scene where his senior disappeared. Han's conditions are very simple. He just needs him to help Han escape from here. The evidence and the real killer of your senior will be handed over to you. There are no permanent enemies, only interests come first. Xiao Wu agreed to Han's conditions. As for the manager and Kwong Kwong, after being rescued, both were quickly asked by their superiors to sign a record of keeping state secrets. However, Zohar did not want to sign this proposal. She was determined to meet with bodyguard Ki to talk things through. The captain had no other choice but to please the manager. The two met in a shy mood. Even though they really wanted to ask about her wound, Xiao Wu couldn't ignore her. He knew he was a state agent, so this romance couldn't continue. He could only tell the whole truth about his mission. Although he couldn't explain it to her in detail, one thing was certain. The battle was completed and he would leave in silence. Zohar was extremely shocked when she heard the news that he left. She pulled a glimmer of hope into this relationship when she asked if his feelings were fake. Sol Yu just coldly replied that because he was a special agent, he had to lie often, and his feelings for her were just a tool to carry out this mission. Zohar couldn't believe her hands anymore. The feeling of betrayal broke her heart of stone. Even so, she still signed and made an appointment to talk tomorrow when the two of them were calmer. Little did Zohar know that it was his brother who asked bodyguard Kim to disappear from this love affair. Even though he was very sorry, this was his way to protect his little sister. According to the initial battle plan the next morning, Seol Yu dressed as a president to the hotel. He cooperated with other agents to bypass the hotel reception staff. After getting the VIP auction card, he quickly took off his costume and returned to work. Emotions are now just a stone blocking the cutback mission. He could only cruelly observe Zohar standing outside the door alone. He couldn't give her any hope about this love story. Rumors that Kim's bodyguard beat Wan Kwang are spreading rapidly in the company. Everyone thought that bodyguard Kim had to endure a lot to have such an outburst. But what worries Wan Kwang right now is his sister's mood. After her bodyguard left, her spirit was greatly damaged. She couldn't trust anyone anymore. Couldn't bear to see her sister suffer like that. Quan Kwong came to find him to talk. He wanted to invite him back to be his bodyguard but was refused. For him, that status was over. Now bodyguard Kim no longer exists. The next day, when news broke that Zohar's father had been arrested on suspicion of being the murderer, She was extremely shocked and called the captain to beg for help. She fears that the ring is the reason her father was arrested, but because this is national security, he cannot reveal more. He could only ask her to trust him to solve this case, but she couldn't sit still and wait anymore. Neither the National Intelligence Service nor the prosecutor's office are trustworthy. The only person who can help Dad right now is Xiao Wu. She begged her brother to take her to him to ask for help. Xiao Wu felt very guilty when her father was implicated in this mission. Instead, his shy look made Quan curious. I want you to tell me what you need help with. As long as it's related to national security or Zohar, he's ready to rely on his seniors to give him the green light. Xiao Wu did not hesitate to ask for $5 million, which made his heart stop. The intelligence platform is currently in trouble due to the influence of internal forces. The deadline was 12 o'clock tomorrow, otherwise it would be useless. Zohar felt he couldn't trust this person, so she advised him not to give him the role. After thinking for a long time, when Wang finally decided to invest in him, as long as he could ensure Zohar's father was released from prison, any amount of money would be fine. Although his brother agreed to give him money, Zohar needed something to guarantee. That is forcing you to sign a contract to sell yourself. He was forced to return to being Kim's bodyguard and stay with the VIP 24/7, not to suddenly disappear again. Everything must be reported to the creditor to receive 5 million VND. The intelligence department is now in utter chaos. Sung Jae, wanting to find a replacement for Congressman Bark, contacted the captain. He arranged to meet him at the military cafeteria to make a proposal. If Captain Yang accepts the 2 missing keys, he will support him in taking the position of head of the intelligence department. Even though he resolutely refused this invitation, it still made him sad, especially when his close colleague, team leader Lin, was in prison. Today was his first day back as bodyguard Kim. Everyone in the group welcomed him back. Only when Wang was not very happy, because today was the day the two of them went to the bank to withdraw money to fight. When Wang kept repeating the number $5 million in front of him, hoping he would change his mind, but what he received in return were pleading eyes, along with the affectionate call to him. When Wang saw his brother act like that for the first time, he had to hesitate for a very long time before he could calmly press the money transfer button. But there was a condition that he had to set up an appointment with Myoan for him. There are things that when Wang needs to meet with his old lover to confirm. This time the battle plan requires the participation of both people. Thanks to satellite equipment, he quickly determined Moon's location. The plan began when Wang installed a jammer under her car. While the bodyguard went to check the condition of the car, Xiao Wu quickly stole the car lock from the bodyguard. At the same time, he approached Moon to take her to where his brother was taking advantage. The conversation was only 5 minutes. He really wanted to know why she was willing to throw him away and leave. No matter how she denied it, when Wan Kuang saw his ex-lover's eyes, he knew she was lying. He also clearly declared that he would never bow down to her husband again. No matter what he did to stop the filming, he would not let it go. Before leaving, Mayan gave him some advice. Never confront her husband and also never see her again. The next day, at the hotel where the rare antique auction was held, agents of the Intelligence Bureau were installed to arrest Xiao Wu. Therefore, he could not directly participate in the auction, so he could only ask when Wang and the manager to participate in this important auction. And you will sit under the car to protect the two of you in case anything goes wrong. Security at the conference was tightened, making XO half feel pressured. No matter how she turned, someone was watching her. Zoe observed her tension, so she talked to relieve the pressure on her manager. She just needs to confidently act normally in front of them. Everything else is up to him to arrange. On the side of Congressman Beck, there has also begun to be movement. He assigned the trader the task of cleaning up the aftermath. Not only him, but even the kidnappers from the previous 2 times are here. The auction has finally started. The auction begins with rare and valuable items being stolen. Every item has sky-high prices. After many rounds of bidding, the wooden statue finally appeared, with a starting price of $100,000. Not only his group, but Chairman Sung Ji-e also asked someone to participate in the auction for him. No matter what price Guang offers, he will pay higher. The price of the item began to increase exponentially, from $100,000 to now $3 million. His capital is not much left now. Solyu decided to use Plan B. Zohar will approach the target and then turn on the jammer, making it impossible for him to bid. At the same time, Guang will time the final auction. Even though Zohar has reached its target, Guang is still regretting not daring to press the button. To buy time for the auction to end, Zohar was forced to cause chaos in the hall. Thanks to her natural acting talent, she helped Guang successfully auction the wooden statue. The second step at the end of the plan is that Zohar will come to the reception to pick up the wooden statue. After successfully confirming her identity, She quickly took her suitcase to her room, but before the robot could impersonate her, the agent discovered her identity. He quickly alerted all his accomplices who were waiting in ambush. Xiao Wu has now also deployed to support his girlfriend. He easily defeated the guards all the way to the meeting room where Du Ha was waiting, but someone else was one step ahead of him. That was the escaped trader. He took the briefcase with the wooden statue to leave but was stopped by security. They wanted to steal the item, not eliminate the trader. At the most dangerous moment, Xiao Wu appeared. The two joined forces to take down the guards without wasting any effort. It turned out that this was the secret ally he planted in the enemy's heart. After successfully delivering the wooden statue to you, you will help him create an explosion that will make him disappear completely. This is the condition in exchange for this cooperation, and at the same time, he will hand over evidence to help XO-Ha's father escape crime. A huge explosion caused the entire hall to riot. The name Pulse CE was very angry when all his plans were destroyed. The winner once again called his name. After retrieving the dimensional lock in the second statue, Zoha asked his brother to keep the two statues as security. Xiao Wu promised that after the director returned, he would pay $5 million. He then went to see Captain Yang to give evidence of the case to help Zoha's father be innocent. When he asked when the next step of the plan would be carried out, Captain Yang said to pause for now, wait for the director to return, and then everything would be over. Even though he doubted what the captain said, he still accepted to follow orders. The next day, Zoha's father was released by the court. The father was surprised to see Xiao Wu also traveling with his daughter. He was still bitter when bodyguard Kim expressed his attitude towards him before. Even she couldn't know who he really was. Xiao Wu acts like a ghost, disappearing and appearing, always making others worried. At this time, at the base, he discovered that his senior had hidden a book of rights, which most likely contained information that would help the mission. Unlike the previous times he did it alone, this time Xiao Wu texted the manager to let him know before taking action. He also took care to give her the password to the base if he couldn't find him. After finding his senior's notebook, he quickly returned to the experiment when Zoha held a gun and pointed it straight at his face. Even though it wasn't a real gun, she still kept selling it to him to relieve his anger. To attract his girlfriend, he decided to install a tracking device on his phone. The two's relationship began to make new progress. In contrast to the blossoming love story, Wan Wang is very worried that his $5 million will not be refunded. Congressman Bark always appears on TV demanding to cut off the intelligence chief. His current trust is only in Xiao Wu. I need you to always be safe so I can pay you. The next day, people from the intelligence department came to question Kim's bodyguard. Luckily, he wasn't home at the moment because he was buying breakfast. Thanks to the smooth coordination of the two brothers, they were able to chase the agent back. Now their every step is followed by agents. The situation within the intelligence department was chaotic, and Team Leader Yang was summoned to be questioned about the list of active drug cases. Congress continually applies pressure to make things more difficult. Most notably, it was impossible to disperse $5 million to pay Guan Guang. He had to sadly return to announce the news to his brother. Now Xiao Wu will have to pay his salary to pay his debt. The latest battle plan is to be a bodyguard to protect the stars 24/7. Name Pulse JE once again proposed a new transaction with the captain. He will help you capture Congressman Bark and save the National Intelligence Agency from chaos. Faced with an offer you can't refuse, in the end, Captain Yang accepted this condition. The cooperation of the two signals that a difficult battle is about to happen. The chairman has contacted the Russian side to be able to own the third statue. Now everything is going against Xiao Wu. Not only that, he also influenced Quan Wang's filming, causing every location to refuse to cooperate with the actor. Now everyone has become their target. Even if the intelligence department abandons you, you will always be a good brother to this military officer. But this makes Selu feel very guilty. He decided to meet Zoha one last time to say goodbye to everyone. Just because you're here, work is involved. Zoha decided to be brave for once to keep him here. She wants to go on a dating campaign with Selu. The first assignment is to go eat noodles together. The two of them work together to annoy the tail that was following them. Zoha is curious if DACVU ever tells the truth, or if it's all just for Nguyen Trang. Seo Yu coldly replied that as DACVU, he has no time off and cannot trust anyone other than himself. But since you two are currently dating, you will show off as a great boyfriend. All day long, the two of them were entwined with each other, making everyone guess. False rumors continued to spread within the company that Zoha was pregnant, but all it took was Nguyen Trang to let Seo Yu easily escape the Bureau's control. Captain Yang gave him some bad news. The director, after going on a business trip, was unable to retrieve the third wooden statue, which belonged to Russian billionaire Victor. Therefore, He wanted to remove him from this next wooden statue mission. Before new orders, he should stay with his current status. Suddenly, CEO Yu asked if the senior's disguised identity was revealed because of the captain's revelation. He was curious why this mission had to be so risky. Although the captain was surprised by the difficult question, he quickly answered that his senior's departure was partly his responsibility, so he wanted to be the one to finish this mission. But it seemed like he was lying to keep him quiet. The chairman's people handed him the documents incriminating Congressman Bitch as expected. He had grasped his fatal weakness, and taking him down was now as easy as a task. During Captain Yang's interrogation the next day, Mr. Tung presented evidence proving the congressman's relationship with the traitor. This caused a stir in the entire hall. Everyone was whispering about the dozens of pictures of the two of them together. Other opponents also took this opportunity to attack the old senator. To protect his position, he went to President Sung Yi to show his loyalty, and he would take over the city of Seoul. Seoul also refused to sit still and wait any longer. He contacted the Russian agent to learn about the third wooden statue. Previously, he had also decoded the message hidden in the notebook. That was the last clue his senior left him. There is only one person in this world who can tell you the answer. That was Father Michel at the church that my senior often visited. The predecessor's code is closely related to the Bible, so he guessed the name of the mysterious priest. Even though someone came to ask, he still didn't care. Only when he asked about his senior's name did he get a little moved. The fact that his senior was abused made him very surprised. However, he still refused to reveal anything more until the boy read the bowl. That is a verse in the Bible about a war in heaven, an earth-shattering war with evil. After confirming the tree's identity, he revealed to him that the person who often came here to meet his senior was Captain Yang. But on the last day he met his senior, the captain brought along his close junior, Captain Lin. He was very surprised after learning the truth. Even his closest superiors were enemies. At the same time, Captain Yang was meeting with the chairman. They were both in the same boat, and he wanted him to show his loyalty by handing over his life. The captain escorted him to a secret location to deliver the key. Even though he knew the true purpose of this transaction, he still came. He decided to bet his fate on 2 locks. Will it help him collect all 3, or will they all fall into the hands of the Goat River? Before he could withdraw his words, the Russian bodyguards appeared fully armed. Seoul has been betrayed by its own boss. He coldly pulled out his gun and shot him 1 shot, causing him to fall off the bridge, realizing that he had gradually sunk into the deep riverbed. Team leader Yang Hailong called to inform the chairman. Even though he couldn't capture him alive, sending him down to the Golden Stream was enough to satisfy him. In the cold water of the winter weather, Seo Yu slowly regained awareness of Mr. Le step by step with his fatal wound bleeding. The only person who can save him now is the traitor agent. Compared to a doctor, a former agent is much more trustworthy. He was also very surprised that you trusted him so much. You understand that if he just kills you, he can completely disappear. Like Seo, you chose to believe in him, because you know his feud with the chairman has not been paid off yet. The wound that the captain inflicted on him was very precise. It was in a location that was not life-threatening, requiring the seller to have a high level of shooting. This bullet wound is also a reminder for him to disappear for a while and leave everything to the captain. Du-ha was worried because she couldn't contact her lover, so she called her brother. Wan Wang can only reassure his sister that he did not run away with the first $5 million. It's very possible that he will reply back soon, but suddenly there were footsteps slowly approaching her. It turns out that Seo Wu came back here with a serious injury to meet his girlfriend. Seeing him in critical condition made Soha's heart stop. After his girlfriend took care of his wound, his health finally stabilized. After hearing that his good brother was seriously injured, the Mandarin immediately came to check. Seo Wu recounted the story of being shot by the captain. He did so to complete this wooden statue mission, even if he had to throw away his prison card. Captain Lin, after many days of hardship and suffering, was finally released from prison. He went to see his captain to ask about the mission situation, especially his close junior Xiao Wu. Seeing the captain's hesitant look, he understood that something shady had happened while he was in prison. The third step will reach the intelligence department tomorrow. Many pieces of paper that you left for me. Suddenly, he asked who revealed the senior's identity and caused the mission to fail. More and more, he saw that there was something suspicious about Captain Yang. Therefore, he secretly followed and discovered that the captain was meeting with the president. Seeing his respected senior betray the nation made him very heartbroken. The last 3 locks have been gathered. On the main lock are the coordinates of the secret room's location. The door of the room was gradually opened in front of both of them. Inside is a collection of rare antiques along with a large amount of money. The total output is enough to shake the economy of a country. Chairman Sung Jae was not yet happy when Prosecutor Lin appeared with an arrest warrant. With the powers of a prosecutor, he can temporarily detain criminal suspects. Even Captain Wang was not bored. He gave the traitor a warning punch. If he had anything to say, come to court. Chairman Sung Jae was still very confident when he was detained. He relied on his superior relationships to bully Prosecutor Lin into releasing him. But the prosecutor had anticipated this situation, so he had carefully prepared the case. Even the minister could not help Han escape right away. Suddenly, Mrs. Mayan and the defense lawyer came to the interrogation room. She asked the prosecution to release him on the grounds that the arrest of the businessman was illegal, affecting the country's international bilateral relations, along with records related to the company's business. All proved Sung Jae's innocence, so he was forced to release him. At this point, Captain Wang was forced to tell the whole truth. Cooperating with President Sung Ji is option B of the plan. In the deepest case, giving up Sung Ji is the optimal solution. The captain was forced to sacrifice his honor to weed out the weeds during the intelligence operation. Xiao Yu starts back as an intelligence agent. The clue that the senior left behind is hidden behind a painting found in a room. In the words, there is a path that refers to the famous painting of an evil kneeling angel. He ordered to search and exchange the picture to see the hidden diagram. After holding the important weapon cellu in his hand, he broke into the chairman's room. The fact that he was still alive surprised Sung Ji, but his purpose in coming here was not to retaliate but to make a deal. Instead of using the Wyan captain for his demon, he wanted to propose replacing the captain's position with himself. He understood his abilities and combat abilities better than anyone else. As long as he offered a reasonable price, they both started working. Seeing his face change when he mentioned the name of Congressman Beck, he speculated that the video of the illegal presence had not yet been found. Otherwise, he would have been deposed by now, not thanks to the scandal out there. Sung Zi still doubted what he said, whether he should trust the man who was once his enemy. Noticing the hesitation in his words, he proposed a solution, telling him to test Captain Wang's heart. If he fell into the trap, it would prove that he was telling the truth, and cooperation would take place immediately afterward. Now there's still a difficult problem that hasn't been solved yet, and someone impersonated a senior agent to send a message to him. His purpose is also the lost tape, to completely control your agent. He threatened to harm his relatives. This is the fatal weakness that every agent wants to hide. To prevent him from doing something that would cause you to return to your bodyguard status, finding the identity of the mastermind will be in charge of Prosecutor Lin. The first person he targeted was Old Cow Jia Bark. He is now very busy with the election campaign in front of the show and market to whitewash his mistakes. He took the initiative to perform and kneel before all the people. This fake scene made Prosecutor Lin feel itchy. He proactively approached the crowd and told Lao to go to the control room to declare everything. After a few psychological attacks to determine whether Lao was the one sending the letter, he was sure it was someone else. Suddenly at the studio, Captain Yang appeared. He angrily wanted to know what he was doing here. He doesn't understand the meaning of being shot at a bully. But Xiao Wu did not want to lie still and endure the battle. This time, he will be the one to end the war, to find out the true identity of the person who sent the letter. Xiao Wu went to the chairman's office to see the results of the test. Just as he expected, Captain Yang was from the intelligence department. He suggested that if the chairman wanted to eliminate Lao and Bark, he should contact him. Yesterday we were comrades. Today we were enemies. You can be anyone's shadow. After leaving the president's room and going to the church where the agents met, Father Michel sent him a warning letter. It's best that you don't come into contact with the thing that pushed your senior into a dead end. If you have the chance, disappear and live a normal life. Don't trust anyone. Congressman Beck has also begun to take action. He has someone arrest the group's financial director. He wanted to know information about the whereabouts of the chairman's secret documents. At the same time, he threatened him to act as a witness for the group's secret fund. This is a fatal stab in the back of Chairman Sung Jae. This war officially started when he captured the director. He took him to Prosecutor Lin to submit confidential documents. All evidence of slush funds is gathered here. Captain Yang was very angry when he put his hands on him. At the same time, he arranged for someone to give the recording of the conversation to Mr. Beck. This was the blow that ended the political career of old Senator Beck. Chairman Sung Ji was very satisfied with the results he brought. All confidential documents are handed over to the chairman. In return, you will receive $5 million as an exchange fee. Realizing that this time the plan could still be completed successfully without him, Captain Yang submitted his resignation to the school department. He will withdraw from the industry and return to hiding. All hopes will rest heavily on Xiao Wu's shoulders. Based on the message the priest gave before disappearing, The final answer will appear on the 58th floor. Unexpectedly, the person who appeared here was MS Mayan, or more accurately, Senior Ghost. Jinko was also surprised when he was able to discover the secret so quickly. Xiao Wu began to explain that the person who sent the letter knew his identity well. It was she who cooperated with Captain Yang to make him a bodyguard, and at the same time understood all of his relationships and actions during combat. To do so, he needed a special identity, a long-time undercover agent. It was the senior who died in battle who chose Mayan to become a ghost agent. He is a very good person who always cares for her, leaving the past aside. Now the two need to find the item the late president left behind. That is the only clue to finding the missing ice district. Even someone with seniority in the intelligence department like Kong Talin did not know her identity, a woman willing to use her beauty as a weapon. Once she resigned from the intelligence department, she always acted alone, a realist who did everything to survive. During the time of Bu Kuang's accident, she did not hesitate to marry President Sung Jae to protect herself and the most precious thing to her. On the way back to the house, Prosecutor Lin was suddenly called by the director. He wanted Mr. Bitch then to report everything related to the operation because he had contacted his superiors, so he had no doubts about the director's words. This battle will include Sung Jae. Even though she is her husband, she will eliminate all those who stand in her way. He called her to his office and revealed a hidden camera installed behind the wall. There is a secret office there that specializes in filming illegal epidemics. This is both a guarantee and a source of strength for the corporation. Myun was curious as to why he told her the company's big secret, but from now on she would be in charge of the fund director position, so he revealed everything. After observing the entire inside of the secret room, Xiao noticed that all over the walls were hanging trophies of the deceased. Even the gun has a different tattoo of the dragon. He was curious if there was a suitable place to go to among the group's real estate properties. According to confidential documents obtained, there is a mountain nearby where the late president often frequented. You decided to pretend to be an environmental officer to investigate. After what the people in the village said, my senior also came here to investigate, but it took him 3 days of climbing to return. Before leaving, he noticed the engraving on the gun. People said all the guns here had this engraving, but he did not know its meaning. On this side, Mile has also determined that what the late president left behind is the architectural copy. It is only assigned to the new president when he succeeds the corporation. The plan was going smoothly when an unexpected incident occurred. The name of Congressman Beck told someone to arrest Mile's son. Luckily, Xiao Wu was one step ahead and went to rescue the boy. To meet his son, he asked Mile to come pick him up alone. The person he trusted with the boy was Quan Kwong. Although I was very angry at him acting on his own without informing me, Myun was still grateful when he saved her son safely, and the secret will was also given to him by her. On the other hand, Sung Jae still pretends to be the victim's parent to trick Bitch into fearing a trap. This is the healing blow he gives to the old fox. All confessions were recorded on camera. Sung Jae was very curious why he knew the old fox's plan in advance, but for him, this was just completing the previous contract in the most complete way. To repay him, Sung Jae decided to give him a third wooden statue, along with an offer to become his official employee. Seo Wu happily accepted the gift and said that if it was due to the new epidemic, he should find him. After returning to his base, he began to check the will that the president left behind on the paper. He couldn't see any hidden traces and had to deal with it. This is a testament written by the late president himself. The content is brief but written very accurately. The lonely man left behind a saying that he finally solved this mystery. At the same time, the director of the department asked Prosecutor Lin to meet him outside. All the evidence that the prosecutor kept was with him, which is why the director ordered someone to harm Prosecutor Lin. Even though he was in hiding, Captain Yang received the photo sent by the prosecutor. He immediately called to warn him, but it was too late. He drove frantically to the place where the transaction was supposed to be. It was the director who colluded with the goat to get back the lost tapes. The prosecutor's situation is not good at all. He is currently in critical condition with a bad prognosis, seeing his closest comrades being harmed. Why couldn't you stay calm? He understood that this was a plot by traitors. Even though he was trained so that his personal emotions wouldn't interfere with the mission, he still couldn't forget the memories of the two fighting together. A respected friend, brother, and teacher. If this enemy doesn't report back, how long will he wait? The next day, the intelligence department came to search his base. Everything was searched but no one was found. Prosecutor Lin was accused by Director Du-on of being a treasonous spy. Even Captain Yangju resigned but was still summoned. Zoha has a bad feeling about her boyfriend. Suddenly Mayan called her to inform her of the location of the late president's ceremony. Mayan was afraid that he would come here to take revenge on those who harmed his comrades, so he reported it from a mountain far away from where the ceremony took place. Cao Yu is silently observing every move of the traitor. He coldly pulled out his specialized sniper rifle and pointed it straight at the traitor's head. The safe has been opened. The gun is loaded. You just need to squeeze the contraction and you can take him to meet the King of Hell. Suddenly, Quan Hoang and his girlfriend appeared at the ceremony, causing chaos. Security was assembled in front of the director to protect him. Quan Hoang took out his phone and called him to advise. If you do this, Prosecutor Lin will be labeled a spy for the rest of his life. No matter how angry you are, please stop and use the law to punish the guilty. After successfully stopping his rampage, Quan Kwong went to the hospital where the prosecutor was being treated. He had a few words to say to the reporters present. All accusations that Prosecutor Lin is a spy are false. He is the most righteous prosecutor in Korea. Every newspaper page explodes after what the famous actor said, but chances are people don't pay attention to the hospital room. He pretended to be a doctor to visit his senior. Even though he was a ghost agent, he was discovered by his wife. She knew that his identity as her husband's colleague, a junior, always gave him headaches. She revealed that the doctor said he wouldn't last 3 days, but he wasn't that weak. He will wake up strong after this fall. So he assured her to leave everything to him, following the law and principles, and he would catch them all. That very evening he broke into the school's house. He came here just to say the final declaration of war. You won't fail him. Instead you will make his life like living in hell. After leaving, he went to see Mile. He wanted to confirm that the battle plan would continue. Even if her husband is involved in this case, Mayun also understands that it is time to end this feud, so she will help him find a copy of the director's weakness. The next day, bodyguard Kim returned to his work. Even though he was being scolded by the intelligence department, he was not harmed. At the same time, the director revealed Mayun's identity to the chairman. She was the person he sent to gather intelligence at the chairman's place. Even though he didn't want to believe it, all evidence proved she was an agent. According to the intelligence he had recently obtained, she was also helping him fight. Sung Jae, although he loves his wife very much, he still has to do a test. He asked her what she thought about the head of the intelligence department. Miu Yuan still didn't know anything, so she answered according to her personal feelings. At the same time, he also revealed the director's weakness that was kept in a safe. A perfect trap that he doesn't want his wife to fall into. However, life was not like a dream when Mile was caught in a trap. Soon after, the chairman's people came to check her bag but couldn't find anything. This makes Sung Jae very confused. Based on the ghost agent's experience, she discovered her husband's lies, thereby successfully stealing confidential documents to discuss with the director. Sora Yu also has to take action on the next step of the plan. He and Wan Kwang will conduct a direct interview with Chairman Sung Jae. In particular, he carefully prepared homemade bombs to end this campaign. He pretended to be a studio employee and approached the chairman. With his homemade bomb, he was able to control him. He sincerely advised him not to do anything stupid or run away. Only the truth can save you. Opposite the chairman is his wife's ex-lover, who will directly participate in the interview. At the same time, the director also appeared at the chairman's office, where the transaction with Special Agent Mayan would be conducted. She wanted him to listen and enjoy what she had done. The interview started hot when Quan Hoang revealed that the chairman tried to assassinate him twice. This caused public opinion to explode. No matter how hard he tried to deny it, he couldn't escape. Quan Hoang took out a pen to record his conversation. Revealing the recording is giving orders to officials who and everything is gradually becoming chaotic. The director was about to leave the office when he received your phone call. If he hangs up or runs away, the bomb under the table will explode. He angrily asked him what he wanted, and he ordered him to answer that it was revenge. The interview set is still broadcast live. Although the director was still strong-mouthed, when he saw the evidence, he began to worry. The name Sung Zie at this time continuously denied the accusations made. It was all done by someone else and he didn't know anything about it. Realizing that this guy is still trying, Xiao Wu signaled that he would detonate the bomb if he did not tell the truth. With his own life being threatened, he had no other choice but to tell the truth. The person who caused everything was the head of the intelligence department. This made him really angry when he was betrayed. To prove his words, he produced the audio recording evidence of the director's treatment. He is now nothing more than a crazy demon, so he told him to detonate the bomb at any cost. Xiao Wu agreed to the conditions he mentioned. He ordered to search for the detonation button, but nothing happened. It turned out that it was the secret room's work to record his confession. Captain Wang immediately had people arrest him on charges of treason. The interview also ended with Seoul's victory. The chairman was immediately escorted to prison by the police. After a long battle with the accident, Kong Talin finally miraculously regained consciousness. To honor his contributions in this mission, the president awarded the Medal of Honor as a gift to the hero. Captain Yang has also been reinstated, and the Ma agents have been sealed. He gave him a month to think about whether he should continue this job. After being thoroughly investigated, the traitors were subjected to a suitable punishment. Zohar and her boyfriend finally get to spend time together, but work once again interferes. He is informed of a new mission by a foreign agent. An international operation is about to begin on a large scale. Although he was quite hesitant, in the end he still chose to serve the country, accepting to sacrifice time with the person he loved to protect the country. This war is over, but life continues. Xiao Wu will go abroad to carry out the cutback mission. The vast world always needs a hero to protect, but one day Bodyguard Kim will definitely return. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching this movie. Hope we will meet again in the next products.